Hey, this is another one of those reviews where I'm going to tell you to watch the short before the review because almost all the jokes rely on timing and you might lose that feel if you hear them out of order in the review. The link is in the description. Definitely recommend. Ah yes, TechHeart's first comedy review. So far I've reviewed 2 horrors and a drama? Not sure what end of the line is other than good. For today's video, we're visiting once again the land of Team Fortress 2. But this time we're looking at the Saxy Awards. Last year's winner of Best Overall was an unfinished comedy called Turbulence. Well, they say it was unfinished, but it's been months and I've checked as far as April 13th of 2016 with no sign of them finishing. The first thing to notice about Turbulence is the voice acting in the intro.
Fellas, this is your captain speaking. We're about to begin our descent and we'll be landing shortly. Please put your seat in the upright positions, no belongings, fasten your seatbelt.
Yeah, it's a little too quiet compared to the background noise, but it sounds so much like the Scout that I thought for a while that it was just a long and oddly specific audio clip from an update I hadn't played yet. It's possible other characters are voice acted, but since it's been so long since I played the game, it may just be sound files I don't recognize. Now, if there's anything that TF2 format videos pretty much must have, it's a large and lively cast. And boy does this capture that. While End of the Line did a wonderful job establishing the characteristics of each individual shown, Turbulence animated, if I had to guess, maybe over 50 uniquely moving models, sometimes a gigantic amount of them in one shot. There's so much movement and personality in each shot that I'm not even going to take away for the occasional errors with the models, such as with the airplane and the wrong heavy.
Well, off to visit your mother. Over.
Hey, is that a new suit? Cause it sucks. Oh, boom!
And TF2 models are not easy to work with, especially Scout. Watch me try to lift his arms up. Alright, yeah, no, this is about as high as his arm goes. It doesn't much go higher than that. You can also see that his head is very functional and that these models are great. It's a disaster. Okay, they use Source Filmmaker and my computer can only run Gmod, but it's the same models. As far as audio, almost all of it was pre-existing, but they did a really good job putting it all together.
What? Soldiers?
Now it's time to talk about tone. Yes, I'm still a critic, which means I'll be dissecting the rhetoric of a TF2 comedy video. Watch me do Team Fabulous next.
Do you remember me? Yes. Let this be a lesson for you.
It's called a challenge. When I looked at it for its ability to create tone, Turbulence holds up pretty well, actually. I think a lot of it relies on the knowledge of the viewer to already know the assigned identities of the TF2 characters, but seeing as I've had a great nostalgia for these videos since I was a lost 12-year-old on the internet, I gotta grade it as I see it. Comedic timing is the short, strong suit.
You imbecile! You've doomed us all! Apologies.
I imagine they were probably sat at a computer for 10 minutes timing some of these jokes. Hey Vincent, is this funnier if he says apologies with a 1.6 second delay or a 2.4?
1.7 is also a strong contender.
And secondly, the tone is consistent. Now I'm aware I took off points from Backwater Gospel for having the same tone throughout, but hear me out on this. The reason the tone stays the same in Turbulence is because the mood changes constantly with wonderful transitions. For you non-lit nerds, the difference between tone and mood is who's feeling it. In my reviews, I often call mood tone, but today I'm going to use the correct definitions. Let me explain the difference a little better. Imagine you're walking down the street and you see someone smiling for seemingly no reason. You don't know why, but the fact that the person is smiling creeps you out. You don't trust smiling strangers. In this case, the stranger is tone, happy, while you, the observer, is the mood, which is alert. Turbulence's mood changes smoothly to give the overlaying tone a fresh feeling every few moments, even though the tone is always amusing. For instance, watch this mood transition from hopeful to dread without losing the comedic effect.
Oh! Very good! Damn it! Uh-oh! The burning you feel? It is shame.
Neither of these were expected. The timing in telling the joke was beautiful, and it helped renew the tone instead of letting it drag. Animation? Well, with a huge and hyper cast, the modeling issues were ignored, resulting in a perfect 100. I think this is the first time I gave out a 100 for an animation. It was in a TF2 video. And audio? Perfectly timed. But the balance in the beginning, a very fragile time in any animation, was off, resulting in I'd say a 3-point deduction. It wasn't really that annoying, but it was there. It was still a 97 though. Characters, very well established, and I gotta say, even the sub-characters had great chemistry. My only problem was that the co-pilot scout had a weak relationship with the pilot. It was neither a foil nor a complementary comparison, and I feel that the co-pilot would have been better outside of the cockpit. Another 3-point deduction for still a whopping 97. As far as storytelling, this is the film's biggest weak link. Intro and body were clear, but the ending seemed really rushed to say the least. Rushed endings get a 15-point deduction. I can tell they tried to make up with it with the sniper owl thing, but it just didn't make up for the sudden ending. Now, tone. Tone took a small hit because of the ending at 5 points, but with a great mood, that's still a 95. And overall, this also comes to a grade of 95. I never thought I'd give an A+ for a TF2 comedy, but I guess that's why it won the annual Saxy. And thank you for tuning in. This is Aaron M. Clark, and this was a TechHeart review.